Assalamu alaikum, this is Nabila Sigdatama welcoming you to the English news from Btv Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. Third session of the 13th Jatiya Shongshad begins. Condolence motion adopted on loss of lives in flash flood in Nepal. President Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir calls upon Banga Bhavan officials to perform duties with honesty, dedication and sincerity. '50th death anniversary of national poet Qazi Nazrul Islam today. People from all walks of life pay tribute at his grave. Army's second arms factory begins set up in Chattogram's Shitakundo to begin new horizon in arms industry. Chinese ambassador expresses interest in investing modern housing for slum dwellers in Dhaka as he meets with LGRD minister. More than 360 killed and hundreds including foreign tourists missing after flash floods and landslides in Nepal. Bangladesh women's cricket team reaches Dubai to participate in Asia Cup tournament. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. The third Shongshad of the 13th Jatiya Shongshad begins today at the Jatiya Shongshad Bhavan in the capital with Speaker Hafizuddin Ahmed in the chair. Prime Minister, also leader of the Parliament House Tariq Rahman, joined the inaugural proceedings. At the beginning of the sitting, a 5-member presidium was nominated to conduct preliminary proceedings in the absence of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Later, a condolence motion was adopted in the Parliament. The House unanimously adopted a condolence motion mourning 14 prominent figures including former acting President and Speaker Zamir Uddin Sarkar as well as former ministers and MPs. Parliament also expressed deep sorrow over the loss of lives in the recent flash flood and landslides in Nepal, offering prayer for the deceased and condolences to the bereaved families. A 1-minute silence was observed in memory of those who have lost their lives in the national and international incidents. Meanwhile, during the question and answer session in the Parliament, Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed announced plans to reinforce the police force by recruiting 4,000 sub-inspectors, 400 sergeants and 10,000 constables. He also confirmed a dedicated committee has been formed to recover missing and looted firearms, adding that law enforcement has acted swiftly to arrest suspects in major crimes since current government took office. Foreign Minister Dr. Khalil Rahman addressed concerns regarding the Mecca Pact, describing it as an internal affair of the Muslim family and noting that no final decision have been taken on joining the alliance. On regional water sharing issues, he confirmed that a team has been formed to negotiate the new Ganges agreement with India, while a technical evaluation with China is underway regarding the Tesla project before finalizing the next steps. State Minister for Finance Junaid Saki informed the Parliament that an official examination is currently underway to assess whether excess expenditure occurred during the construction and operation of the metro rail. Meanwhile, earlier in the morning, a meeting of the ruling party's MPs was held at the Jatiya Shongshad Bhavan with Prime Minister and leader of the House Tariq Rahman in the chair. The government party MPs participated in the meeting. Prime Minister Tareq Rahman directed all ministers and MPs to remain present in their respective electoral areas to carry out scheduled programs marking the upcoming anniversary of Bangladesh Nationalist Party. The Prime Minister called on party members to stay highly vigilant against ongoing anti-government propaganda. During the discussion, the Prime Minister instructed MPs to clearly inform the public about the actual state of the national utility and supply constraints, specifically regarding electricity, fuel, gas, and fertilizer shortage. President Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has pledged to discharge his constitutional responsibility in a completely non-partisan manner for the welfare of the state. He made the remark at the first Darbar of the President at the Bangabhavan this morning. Officers and employees of Bangabhavan were present. President Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said that after assuming the responsibility as president, he would have no anger or affection towards anyone, and the interest of the country, state, and people would be his prime objective. He urged the officers and employees of Bangabhavan to discharge their respective responsibilities with dedication, sincerity, and honesty. The President also emphasized on maintaining confidentiality of the important activities related to national securities that took place in the Bangabhavan. President Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir stressed on ensuring transparency and accountability in expanding public money. Highlighting the history and tradition of Bangabhavan, he expressed the hope that everyone will work together to uphold the country's image.
সম্পূর্ণভাবে একজন দল নিরপেক্ষ মানুষ এবং আমার রাষ্ট্রের রাষ্ট্রপতি হিসেবে দায়িত্ব গ্রহণ করার পরে আমি সব কিছুর রাজনীতির ঊর্ধ্বে আমি থাকবো বলেই আমি শপথ নিয়েছি এবং আমার জন্য কোনো রাগ বিরাগ অনুরাগ কোনো কিছুর জন্য থাকবে না। আমার সামনে একটাই মূল উদ্দেশ্য লক্ষ্য, সেটা হচ্ছে আমার দেশ, আমার রাষ্ট্র, আমার জনগণ। এই বঙ্গভবন হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশের সবচেয়ে কেন্দ্রবিন্দু একটা জায়গা, যে জায়গা থেকে দেশের সার্বভৌমত্ব রক্ষা করার একটা প্রতীক এবং একই সঙ্গে দেশের যে স্বাধীনতা তারও একটা প্রতীক এই বঙ্গভবন। সেজন্য আমরা যারা এখানে কাজ করছি আমাদের দায়িত্ব হবে সকলের সঙ্গে একসাথে থেকে আমরা যেন দেশের স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমত্ব এই ব্যাপারে সবচেয়ে বেশি মূল্য দিতে পারি এবং দেশের প্রতি মানুষের প্রতি যেন আমরা গভীর ভালোবাসা সম্মান ও রাষ্ট্রের প্রতি সবচেয়ে আনুগত্য রাখতে পারি, সেই বিষয়টা আমাদেরকে অগ্রাধিকার দিতে হবে। আমাদের অত্যন্ত সত্তার সঙ্গে পালন করতে হবে। তা হচ্ছে বঙ্গভবনের আভ্যন্তরীণ তথ্য, দৈনন্দিন কার্যক্রম এবং গুরুত্বপূর্ণ রাষ্ট্রীয় সিদ্ধান্ত সংক্রান্ত সকল বিষয় অত্যন্ত কঠোরভাবে গোপনীয়তা বজায় রাখতে হবে, যাতে রাষ্ট্রীয় নিরাপত্তা কোনোভাবেই বিঘ্নিত না হয়। সকল রাষ্ট্রীয় ব্যয়ের ক্ষেত্রে আমাদেরকে সাশ্রয়ী হতে হবে, দায়িত্বশীল মনোভাব অবলম্বন করতে হবে এবং জনগণের অর্থ যেন অপচয় না হয় সেদিকে আমাদেরকে সব সময় সতর্ক দৃষ্টি রাখতে হবে। দেশের সাধারণ জনগণের করের অর্থ দিয়েই আমাদের এই সরকারি সম্পদ, যানবাহন, অন্যান্য সুযোগ সুবিধার সঠিক, দায়িত্বশীল, স্বচ্ছ ও জবাবদিহিমূলক ব্যবহার আমাদেরকে নিশ্চিত করতে হবে।
Various programs are being observed across the country to mark the 50th death anniversary of the national poet Qazi Nazrul Islam. In Dhaka this morning, teachers, students, officials and employees of University of Dhaka, led by the university's Vice-Chancellor, paid tribute by placing floral wreaths at the poet's grave. Representatives of educational institutions, research organizations, social, cultural and political groups, government and private institutions and people from the field of art, literature, culture also paid their respects one after another. After paying tribute at the poet's grave, BNP Acting Secretary General Rurul Kabir Rizvi said that the poet of rebellion and love enriched every branch of literature. He added how wherever there is oppression and injustice, Nazrul, the poet of equality, continued to inspire people to raise their voice. The presence and sentiments of Nazrul's admirers at the mausoleum reflected how relevant the national poet remains in today's turbulent social reality. The second arms factory of Bangladesh Army will be established on a 46-acre site of Jalil Textile Mills located in Chidakundo of Chattogram. The agreement for the transfer of the textile mill site was signed today with the Army and Bangladesh Textile Mill Corporation (BTMC). The Minister of Textiles, Jute and Commerce was the chief guest at the agreement signing ceremony held at the Jalil Textile Mills in the afternoon. Defense Ministry Advisor, retired Brigadier General Dr. A.K.M. Shamsul Islam, Army Chief General Waqaruzzaman were also present at the agreement signing ceremony. They hoped that the establishment of this second arms factory would usher in a new era in the country's arms industry. Minister of Textiles, Jute and Commerce Khandakar Abdul Muqtadir hoped that the Army's arms factory would be able to manufacture modern weapons through a combination of innovation, cost saving and effective management. He said the government will provide all possible cooperations in the progress of the country's arms industry. The special guest of the event, retired Brigadier General Dr. A.K.M. Shamsul Islam, said the government is responsible to the nation in manufacturing defense equipment as part of implementation of the election manifesto, which began with the agreement to transfer the land for setting up an arms factory in place of Jalil textile mills. Special guest Army Chief Waqaruzzaman said the main aim of the country's arms industry is to meet the weapons need of the country's army and all law enforcement agencies and also to export weapons abroad. The event, organized by the area headquarters Chattogram, was also attended by Secretary of Ministry of Textiles Mohammad Sharifuddin Ahmed Chaudhry, State Minister Mohammad Shariful Alam, Chairman of BTMC Brigadier General Mohammad Zakir Hussain, and other military and civilian officials. After the agreement signing ceremony, the guests visited the different areas of the Jalil textile mills. LGRD and Cooperatives Minister Dr. Abdul Moin Khan has expressed the hope that China's cooperation in various sectors including infrastructure, port management, waste management and renewable energy will increase further in Bangladesh. The issue was discussed when Chinese ambassador to Bangladesh Yo Wen met Minister at Raater's office at the Secretariat here today. State Minister of LGRD and Cooperatives Mir Shai Alam was present at the meeting. The meeting also discussed waste management and sewage disposal in Dhaka, housing, inclusion of Mandarin and Chinese language in Bangladesh education curriculum, expansion of necessary pipeline networks to make the Deshkan sewage treatment plant fully operational and increasing the use of renewable energy. China has agreed to implement 10,000 crore taka modern housing project to rehabilitate residents of Kural, Shattola and Bashteka slums under Dhaka 17 constituency. State Minister for LGRD and Cooperatives Mir Shai Alam said the project proposed through the Economic Relations Division will be implemented in phases. He said Small unit flats will be built in 20-story buildings, allowing slum dwellers to live rent-free while paying only utility bills, he added. At the outset of the meeting, Ambassador Yeo Wen congratulated the local government minister on assuming his new responsibility and expressed the hope that the bilateral relations between the two countries would be further strengthened and areas of cooperation expanded. The local government minister said China is one of Bangladesh's largest development partners. China's long-standing cooperation in various areas of the country's development is highly important. He said China's experience, technology, and investment in important sectors such as water supply, waste management, renewable energy, and urban development can further accelerate Bangladesh's development activities. Chinese Ambassador Yeo Wen said Bangladesh-China relations have reached a new height through Bangladesh Prime Minister Tariq Rahman's visit to China. He said China is interested in further increasing people-to-people connectivity between Bangladesh and China alongside strengthening economic relations. Local Government Division Secretary Mohammad Shahidul Hassan, Dhaka Wasa Managing Director Mohammad Muniruzzaman, and senior officials of the ministry were present at the meeting. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 today showed Zahil Hassan arrested in a case lodged over enforced disappearances of incumbent Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed. Meanwhile, at Tribunal 2, testimony continued against 11 individuals, including former Dhaka Metropolitan Police Commissioner Habibur Rahman, over the fatal shooting of student Imam Hassan Taim in Jatrabari during the July movement. The investigation officer of the case, Mohammad Alamgir, faced cross-examination from Defense Counsel during the morning session. Tribunal 2 formally took into account the charge sheet and formal allegation filed against former Home Secretary Jahangir Alam and former Joint Secretary Dhananjay Kumar Das. In addition, 10 top leaders of currently banned Awami League, including former ministers Abdur Razak, Shahjahan Khan and Deepu Moni, were produced before the tribunal. Now, international news. Nepal police say more than 360 bodies have been found after glacial flood hit the Himalayan nation and the bordering autonomous region of Tibet. Rescue teams are searching for survivors along the Nepal-China border after the catastrophic torrent of flood and mud swept through several communities. On both sides of the border, hundreds of foreign nationals are missing. Nepal says that includes 178 tourists from India, 127 from Nepal, 65 Americans, 35 Australians, and 33 from the UK. In Tibet, at least 558 people are missing, with 3 confirmed deaths. It's not clear if these figures overlap with Nepal's. The US Geological Survey says the glacial collapse and debris flow triggered the floods, and there are fear of more floods with debris blocking the rivers. Countries and organizations around the world are sending cash, relief supplies, and other assistance to Nepal as it responds to the aftermath of the flood. At least 12 people have been killed and dozens injured as wildfire burns through large swathes of northern Algeria. Civil protection authorities said dozens of blazes swept through several provinces along the country's northern coastline. Interior Minister said South stated at least 45 people had suffered burn injuries, with at least 6 of them being treated in intensive care. South said 5 people were killed in the Jalil province, 4 in the Bejia and 3 in the Tazi Ozia. Many homes in Bezia and Jadil have been evacuated according to the Civil Protection Agency and local media. Now, sports news. Cricket. The Bangladesh women's cricket team has landed in Dubai to compete in the 10th edition of Women's T20 Asia Cup, set to run from August 28 to September 13. The Tigers are led by captain Nigar Sultan Joyti, with Nahid Akhtar serving as vice-captain. The squad experienced a late change in its bowling unit. Left-arm pacer Faria Islam Trishna was ruled out after sustaining a thigh injury, prompting the inclusion of 17-year-old fast bowler Farzana Yasmin as her replacement. Bangladesh will kick off their group stage campaign against Indonesia on August 31st. They will then face Sri Lanka in a crucial match on September 6 before closing out the initial stage against host UAE on September 8. All matches are scheduled to take place at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. That's all from the newsroom. To end the news, a recap of the top stories. Third session of 13 Jatiyo Shongshad begins. Condolence motion adopted on loss of lives in flash flood in Nepal. President Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir calls upon Bang Bhavan officials to perform duties with honesty, dedication and sincerity. '50th death anniversary of National Poet Qazi Nazrul Islam today. People from all walks of life pay tribute at his grave. Army's second arms factory being set up in Chattogram Shirakundo to begin new horizon in arms industry. Chinese ambassador expresses interest in investing modern housing for slum dwellers in Dhaka as he meets LGRD minister. More than 360 killed and hundreds, including foreign tourists, missing after flash flood and landslides in Nepal. Bangladesh women's cricket team reaches Dubai to participate in Asia Cup tournament.